okay guys, I'm gonna walk to the pub and grab myself a milkshake. And then everyone stopped me and they were like, wait a second, we don't want to move. How about you grab us something? I'll pay you $5 for it. So I was like, okay, you're willing to pay me $5 to walk a couple 100 feet to the pub. So I was like, all right, there might be a business there. There's a problem that might be solved here. So yeah, my company is Munch Deliveries. The simplest way to put it is it's the same as Uber Eats, Grubhub, Bite Squad, DoorDash. The only difference is that we chose a niche market to target and to serve, basically. So what we do is we only deliver to college students, and that allows us logistically to save money that we pass that back on to the customers. And that in turn, the customers just get a better service at a cheaper price. Around September, October was when the idea kind of popped up. I was sitting in a room with my friends, and at some point I was like, okay guys, I'm gonna walk to the pub and grab myself a milkshake. And then everyone stopped me and they were like, wait a second, we don't want to move. How about you grab us something? I'll pay you $5 for it. So I was like, okay, you're willing to pay me $5 to walk a couple 100 feet to the pub. So I was like, all right, there might be a business there. There's a problem that might be solved here. So the initial idea was to set up an on-campus food delivery that would take food from the pub, from the caf, to the different dorms. So I got in touch with the school to inquire more about the possibilities of having that set up. And they sent me to the food distribution company that's in charge of food distribution, basically, for everywhere on campus. And the regional manager flew down to meet me at Ekut, and we had a meeting where I kind of told them everything. In my head, they were coming. It's a young guy, he's a freshman. He has an idea. He's finding ways to execute it. He has a plan and everything. So I gave them everything, basically. And 2 months later, they kind of said that we had two options: either you work for us and you do it for us, or you do it separately. I chose to do it separately because I want to be an entrepreneur and have my own company. But then they come back to me saying, okay, there's financial privacy laws that we can't. You gotta be our employee to do it. The day they had to give me my employment contract, the regional manager says, well, actually, my IT department has already piloted an app. So I was like, and he said, we don't see why we need to partner with you anymore. So that was my first lesson as an entrepreneur. So then there was actually that was my, like I said, that was my first lesson as an entrepreneur, and it kind of brought me down because I had spent less than 6 months in the US. It was my first time in the US. Kind of brought me down for a bit, but after like this, I think 6 months, some of my friends were like, okay, you had a great idea. Why are you just letting it down? So then we had a huge pivot, and we kind of said, before that, we kind of started figuring out, okay, well, students are still ordering through Uber Eats, right? Uber Eats, Bite Squad, and DoorDash. But they always complain about the fees. They always complain about the fact that whenever the driver gets on campus, they don't know where to go. They have to call the customers and ask them where to go. So, and the customers end up spending about 20 minutes just talking to the guy, or have to get out of their room and walk about 200, 300 feet to get their food, which is, remember the first story, right? They didn't want to walk even 100 feet. They didn't want to even get out of the room. So we kind of saw that, okay, well, there's a problem that needs to be solved. And also we found out that students that wanted to drive for those companies always complained about having to go drive and deliver to some sketchy places, or having to do a single trip and getting paid only once and only getting the tipped only once. So we were like, okay, well, I think we can do something here to help these guys out. And that's when Munch came to light, basically, because we said, okay, how about we set up a food delivery service that would only cater to those college students, give them exactly what they want, when they want it. And to solve that problem where the drivers would have to deliver to sketchy places, well, what we do is we only hire college students. Yeah, so we have actually 3 apps. So one that the customer goes to, places their order and stuff. And another one that the restaurant has, that it's on a tablet. We give all the restaurants a tablet And then every time a customer places an order through the first app, it gets sent to the restaurant app. And then the third app is our driver app, where the driver now gets the order and says, okay, do you want to pick it up or not? So our drivers don't have to, they can be in class from, let's say, 11 to noon and have another class at 2 p.m. From noon to 2 p.m. they have nothing to do. They can go to their room or be at the library and be working. Just have the app open. As soon as an order pops up, they just swipe, take the order, off they go. They deliver the order, they go back to the library, they continue working. So we have an agreement with every restaurant partner we have. We only put restaurant partners. We don't deliver from restaurants that we don't know, we haven't signed a deal with. So for the payment for the drivers, they get 100% of the delivery fee. Okay. And then us on our side, we get some form of commission from the restaurant that we then pay. We have an agreement with all of them that we then pay bi-weekly. So it just accumulates, and then we pay them at the end of the 2 weeks. Well, we have a team of, actually we started with 3 co-founders. I'm the CEO and I'm the main owner. But we have 3 partners, and then we slowly grew the team to seven people. If ever there's a problem like that, we're always the backup people. And the thing is, what we do that is different is as soon as we get an order, we don't necessarily send it out right away, because remember the model is getting the volume, right? So we wait for a little bit, maybe wait for another order to come in. We know, let's say we coded a delivery time of 30 minutes, right? We know the driver is going to take 10 minutes to get to the restaurants and 10 minutes to come back. So we have a win, so that's 20 minutes, but our quoted time is 30. So we have 10 minutes where we can kind of wait for another order to come in and then stack that order and give that to the same driver. So the driver gets paid twice. The customer still gets it within his quoted delivery time. And yeah.
And another price point, how do you come over it?
We charge half the price than Uber. Okay. And without service fees or whatever.